What if the life you're waiting for is already responding to who you are, not what you wish for? Most people chase goals with broken identity, but true transformation begins the moment you become the kind of person who naturally attracts what they once begged for. Because life doesn't respond to desire, it mirrors belief. Your habits, thoughts, and self-emission broadcast your frequency. Upgrade them, and the results change too. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. So become it now. In a few moments, I will teach you why changing your identity matters more than chasing your desires. Because you attract what you are. Your life mirrors your identity. You often ask, why don't I have what I want yet? But pause and ask something far more important. Who have I become in pursuit of it? The truth is, life doesn't give you what you daydream about. It gives you what matches your character. You can want wealth, love, power, peace, but until you become the kind of person those things gravitate towards, they will elude you. Your current results are a reflection of your internal thermostat, and that thermostat is set by your self-image. You don't rise to your ambitions, you fall to your standards. You may declare goals loudly, but your quiet self-beliefs still run the show. Your habits, your choices, your thoughts, they're all casting a vote for the kind of future you're heading toward. Imagine planting seeds. If you plant weeds but wish for roses, the soil won't obey your desire. It obeys your discipline. Your energy, not your intention, is what cultivates the harvest. So ask yourself, what am I attracting with the way I think, speak, and live? Have I become the type of person my dreams would chase? Transformation doesn't begin with the world around you. It begins with the world within you. Don't focus on having more. Focus on being more. You cannot outrun your self-image. You want success, but do you truly see yourself as successful? Because if your subconscious identity doesn't match your desire, you will sabotage your own ascent. This is why so many people win for a moment, then fall right back to their comfort zone. They haven't changed who they believe they are. You can train hard, read books, repeat affirmations, but if deep down you still view yourself as unworthy, life will echo that signal. You don't attract success by chasing it. You attract it by embodying the mindset, values, and actions of someone who already walks in it. Think of a rubber band. Pull it far and it will stretch, but let go and it snaps back. Your identity is that anchor point. Until it shifts, your life won't sustain change. You may get fit for a few weeks, earn more money for a few months, but then you'll retreat to what's familiar unless you raise the standard of who you are without those results. Ask yourself, who would I need to become to naturally live at the level I desire? What would that person think, do, believe? And am I willing to train myself into that image? Not just wish for a different outcome. You don't change your life, you change you, and the life follows. Desire without alignment is friction. Desire alone is not power. In fact, if it's misaligned with your identity, it can create frustration. You want to grow your income, build confidence, develop discipline, but these goals pull against the habits you've accepted for years. This creates friction, and friction leads to fatigue. Most people don't quit because the goal is too far. They quit because they haven't aligned internally to walk toward it daily. They don't believe yet. Picture an archer aiming for a bullseye. If the arrow is perfect, but the bow is twisted, the shot misses. You are the bow. Until you align your beliefs, intentions, and behaviors, no strategy will consistently hit the mark. Ask, where am I fighting my own self? What desires keep repeating but never manifest? What part of me is resisting the very thing I say I want? There is no substitute for internal alignment. When your actions echo your values, when your words mirror your belief, and your belief is rooted in vision, then success doesn't feel like struggle, it feels like gravity. The world reflects your vibration. Everything around you responds to you, not to the mask you wear, nor to the titles you've collected, nor even the words you speak. It responds to the invisible signal you emit, your vibration. That subtle energy, crafted in the furnace of your thoughts, beliefs, and intentions, radiates outward and sets the tone for what you attract. Life does not respond to appearances. It responds to essence. You may perform confidence, stand tall, speak with force, smile wide. But if beneath all that your soul trembles with self-doubt, if your mind echoes the fear of failure, the world will feel it. You may give with open hands, but if bitterness hides behind your generosity, your giving carries weight, not warmth. The universe reads between the lines. It listens to your frequency, not your language. The principle is ancient, yet often forgotten. You do not attract what you say, you attract what you are. You are a magnet, pulling people, opportunities, and outcomes that match your internal weather. If you dwell in scarcity, always thinking there's not enough time, not enough money, not enough love, you magnetize lack. But if you cultivate a mindset of abundance, trusting that more is always on its way, you begin to notice doors opening that you once thought were walls. Think of the people you've met who shift the atmosphere of a room just by entering it. They don't need to speak. Their very presence is a vibration. That is resonance. And it isn't manufactured, it's transmitted. Because everything in creation is built on frequency, and you are no exception. You are always broadcasting, so ask yourself honestly, what am I sending out into the world? Am I echoing trust or tension, expansion or contraction, power or passivity? Life isn't fooled by declarations, it listens to conviction. You don't need to speak louder, you need to align deeper. What you are being right now in this moment is shaping what you are receiving, not someday, not when you hit your goals, not when others approve, now. The vibration you hold is the reality you mold. Therefore, your task is not to strive harder. It is to tune yourself, refine your signal, let go of the mental noise and emotional clutter that scrambles your transmission. Begin to embody what you long for, not perform it, but become it. Walk as if peace lives in your bones. Speak as if your words plant seeds of power. Think as if your thoughts are brushes painting your future, because they are. And remember, life always mirrors back what you are, not what you pretend to be. So if you want more, be more. If you want love, radiate it. If you want opportunity, walk in expectancy. If you want respect, carry yourself like someone who commands it, not through demand, but through quiet certainty. This is the path of alignment, not effort, alignment. The world responds not to your hustle, but to your harmony. Tune yourself and the universe will play in key. You don't get what you pray for. You get what you prepare for. You say you want more peace, more money, more opportunity. But the question that echoes louder than any desire is this: are you prepared for it? For life does not deliver based on your prayers alone. It delivers based on your preparation. Your readiness determines your receiving. And until you understand that, you will keep asking for what you have not built the capacity to hold. There is a reason why certain doors remain closed, not because you are unworthy, but because you are unready. Life protects you from what you cannot yet sustain. To receive something prematurely is to risk destroying both the gift and yourself. A throne given to a child becomes a prison. A fortune given to the undisciplined becomes a curse. Blessings, when delivered to an unprepared vessel, turn into burden. Imagine a farmer. He kneels and prays for rain. But if his field lies unplowed, his seeds unsown, his soil unfortified, what happens when the skies finally open? Flood, chaos, ruin. The rain that was meant to nourish becomes the very thing that overwhelms. This is the truth most overlook. Preparation is faith in motion. To prepare for what you do not yet see is to tell the universe you believe it is coming, that you trust the timing, that you are serious about receiving. You say you want peace, but do your habits create space for stillness? You say you want abundance, but do your thoughts recycle scarcity? You say you want opportunity, but are you sharpening your skills in the dark so you're ready when the light finds you? Ask yourself, have I truly prepared for what I ask for? If success knocked today, would I be ready to host it? Would my character support the weight of influence? Would my daily disciplines preserve the fortune I claim to seek? Would my mindset, my humility, my integrity expand with success or collapse beneath it? Life is not a lottery, it is a mirror. And if you do not yet see what you seek, it is because you have more becoming to do. The universe is not punishing you with delay. It is preparing you through development. It is asking you to build the version of yourself who can carry the future you envision. Stop waiting. Start becoming. Become the kind of person who makes peace a lifestyle, not a request. Become the kind of person who manages small resources with excellence so that greater resources are safe in your hands. Become the kind of person who shows up early, stays late, learns deeply, and lives intentionally. For the one who prepares in silence, opportunity eventually knocks with thunder. For the one who trains in the shadows, success appears to be sudden. But nothing great is sudden. It is earned through the quiet work of readiness. It is forged in obscurity. Do not envy the man who rose quickly. Envy the one who built quietly, who grew roots before branches, who trusted that when his time came, he would not have to scramble. He would simply step into alignment. So today, prepare. Prepare as if the answer to your prayer is already on its way, because it is, but it will not stay unless you are ready to sustain it. Your preparation is your permission slip to destiny. Sign it with action, and you won't need to chase blessings. They will recognize you and stay. The unseen identity governs the visible life. Everything you do flows from who you believe you are, not who others think you are, not who you pretend to be, but the quiet conviction pulsing beneath your choices. If your results puzzle you, if your life keeps producing outcomes that contradict your desires, look inward, not outward, for your identity is the root. Your results are only the fruit. You may crave excellence, you may study, plan, hustle, and pray, but if your core identity still clings to mediocrity, to old labels, past failures, or the false humility of not enough, then your habits will sabotage your intentions. No matter how grand your goals, you will never rise higher than the ceiling of your self-image. You don't perform according to your potential. You perform according to your belief about your potential. This unseen identity, your self-concept, your deep-seated beliefs, writes the blueprint for your external life. This is why two people with the same education, the same opportunities, and the same starting line can produce drastically different results. One believes they deserve greatness. The other believes they must settle. The world will mirror whichever belief they broadcast. It is not arrogance to believe in your worth. It is obedience to truth. You were not made to shrink into the mold others created for you. You were built to grow into the vision placed inside you. Every time you limit yourself to the expectations of others, you betray your divine design. Picture a stage actor. They may wear the costume of a king or a pauper, but their performance follows the script they rehearse. And so it is with your life. No matter how much you change your wardrobe, your job, your location, or your circle, if the inner script stays the same, the story repeats. You are the actor and the author. You've been rehearsing this story for years. Ask yourself, what script have I been reciting silently? Is it a story of fear, failure, and barely getting by? Or one of courage, conviction, and becoming? What lines have I let play on repeat? I'm not good enough. This always happens to me. I'll never break through. These are not harmless thoughts. They are rehearsals. And what you rehearse, you become. The good news? You can rewrite the script. When you change the story, you change the role. And when you change the role, you alter the results. No longer the victim, you become the victor. No longer the doubter, you become the doer. And it starts not with massive action, but with internal permission. Give yourself permission to believe in your worth, to expect better, to embody excellence. Begin to speak from the new script. Even if your voice trembles, begin to walk in the posture of the person you're becoming, even if your steps are unsure. Identity precedes transformation. Behavior is only the echo. Begin within. The rest will follow, because your identity is the thermostat of your life. Set it higher, and everything around you must rise to meet it. You were not born to repeat the past. You were born to rewrite the future. And that future begins with how you see yourself today. Your circle echoes your standard. Take a hard look at the people closest to you. They are not merely companions. They are a living mirror of your mindset, your standards, your current identity. Who surrounds you is not a coincidence. It is confirmation of who you have chosen to become. or who you've chosen to remain. You might speak of change, you might dream of rising higher, but if your circle is filled with comfort seekers, excuse makers, or complainers, that is the energy you have allowed into your orbit. And whether you see it or not, it reflects something still present in you. Like always attracts like. Before your surroundings can evolve, you must evolve. This is not about abandoning people. It is about leading yourself. It is about being so committed to your growth that you become the standard, not just for your life, but for the energy around you. When you raise your expectations for yourself, in thought, in speech, in behavior, others will either rise to meet you or fall away. Let them. Growth does not ask for permission. Imagine a fire. When it's weak, it draws little attention, but as it grows, it brings light. It radiates warmth. It commands presence, but it also drives away the shadows. That fire is your purpose, your vision, your becoming. Feed it, protect it, and let it purify your environment. Ask yourself, are my daily conversations building my future or binding me to my past? Do the people around me celebrate growth or retreat into comfort? Am I surrounded by those who reflect my highest self or my old self? Your environment is shaping you more than you realize. You may have ambition, but if your circle reinforces complacency, you will remain stuck. You need challenge. You need truth. You need people who see more in you than you sometimes see in yourself. So elevate your standards. Raise your internal frequency. The moment you do, the composition of your circle begins to shift. Some will feel the fire and be ignited. Others will retreat. That is not loss. That is alignment. When you become intentional about your inner world, the outer world responds. You won't need to beg for better relationships, better opportunities, or better energy. You will attract it by who you are. Choose your circle as if your destiny depends on it, because it does. The body responds to the mind's command. Your posture, your habits, even your energy, they obey your thoughts. You are not simply a body navigating this world. You are a mind transmitting instructions. And the body? It listens. Your walk shifts when you believe you matter. Your voice gains weight when you believe you're valuable. The body is not the commander. The mind is. Every single day, without realizing it, you are running script, silent commands that dictate how you behave, how you respond, how you feel. Whisper to yourself, I'm tired. And your spine bends, your breathing shallows, your ambition fades, but speak to yourself, I am powerful, and something ancient within you rises. Your chest opens, your back straightens. You move as if you belong because now you believe you do. This is not fantasy, this is biology. Your nervous system is a loyal listener. Your words become its signals. Your beliefs become its instructions. And it will shape your posture, your pace, your presence to match what it hears. You are sculpting your state with every phrase you repeat, whether consciously or not. Picture a soldier on the edge of battle. If his mind is filled with images of defeat, his hands tremble, his eyes lose focus. But if his inner voice declares victory, even in the face of fear, his body steadies, his senses sharpen. His courage awakens. His outer form bends to the will of his inner conviction. That same principle governs you. Ask yourself, what have I been commanding myself to feel? What have I been declaring through repetition? With my words, with my tone, with my expectations. Because repetition is not just a teacher. It is a master sculptor. The thoughts you rehearse most become the blueprint of your being. You must become intentional with your inner dialogue. You must notice when you're reinforcing weakness under the disguise of honesty. I can't focus. I always fail. I'm not good enough. These are not mere observations. These are instructions. And your body complies. Change the input and the output transforms. Tell yourself, I am focused. Your attention sharpens. Declare, I always rise. Your energy increases. Say, I carry value. Your presence expands. The shift begins not outside but within. And as you shift, the world shifts with you. People respond not to the real you, but to the revealed you. And you reveal who you are by how you carry yourself. Speak defeat, and they see a defeated man. Speak strength, and they see a leader. It begins with a choice, not a loud one, but a consistent one. A whisper you turn into a ritual. I am ready. I am worthy. I am becoming. Keep saying it. Your body is listening. So is your destiny. You become what you tolerate. Your life is not built in the big moments. It is not shaped in applause or spotlight. It is built quietly, invisibly, in what you allow, excuse, and accept every single day. The small choices, the silent tolerances, the whispered justifications, these are the bricks of your becoming. Each time you let something slide that goes against your values, you are not simply compromising a standard. You are sculpting a self. You are writing a quiet contract with your future, promising less than your potential, and the tragedy is, you may not even realize it. This is the erosion of greatness, not through dramatic collapse, but through slow surrender, through the daily decision to tolerate what should be confronted, to excuse what should be corrected, to accept what should be challenged. You may say it's just one missed workout, just one more excuse, just one lie I told myself to get through the day, but repetition builds reputation, and reputation becomes identity. You are always teaching yourself what you value, teaching yourself what you tolerate, teaching yourself what you're willing to settle for. Think of a stone beneath a dripping faucet. One drop does nothing. A dozen drops seem harmless, but over time, that steady, constant drip carves a groove. It reshapes what once stood firm. That's what compromise does to your character. You don't become weak all at once. You fade, you dull, you erode. Not because you failed, but because you accepted what was easier, what was safer, what was less. Ask yourself, what have I tolerated so long that it now defines me? What boundaries did I once hold firm, but now blur because I was afraid of discomfort or change or judgment? What have I let repeat so often that it now feels like truth? Greatness does not arrive with a trumpet. It is not delivered by chance or inherited by luck. It is forged quietly, ruthlessly by the person who holds the line when it would be easier to lower it. IT is found in the man who gets up when no one would fault him for staying down. In the woman who speaks truth when silence would be more convenient. In the soul who does the hard thing, the right thing, the thing they promised themselves they would do, even when no one is watching. Because that is the real test. Not how you act when the crowd is watching, but how you live when no one sees. When it's just you and your standard, you and your reflection, you and the vow you made in the silence. You are building a reputation with yourself, every day, every moment. And that reputation is either reinforcing your worth or undermining it. You cannot fake greatness. You cannot shortcut it. You earn it, one refusal at a time. Refusal to excuse what you know is wrong. Refusal to tolerate what you know weakens you. Refusal to accept what you know is beneath you. Hold the line. That is where strength grows. That is where confidence is born. That is where integrity becomes identity. Your future is not asking for perfection. It is asking for consistency, for courage, for resolve, for a standard you do not negotiate. You may never control the outcome, but you always control the standard. So draw the line, hold the line, and watch who you become because of it. Your energy teaches others how to treat you. People don't just listen to your words, they read your presence. Before you speak a single sentence, your energy has already spoken volumes. Your body language, your tone, your boundaries, they all communicate who you are and how you expect to be treated. You cannot fake confidence, and when you try, the world senses the gap. If you walk timid, hesitant, unsure, you do not merely blend into the background. You signal to others that it is safe to disregard you, that you will tolerate being overlooked, that your own standard for yourself is negotiable. But if you walk with purpose, shoulders back, eyes steady, steps firm, you do not have to demand respect. You command it, not through force, but through alignment. Because your belief in yourself is palpable. It is not a shout, it is a signal. The world does not treat you as you wish to be treated. It treats you as you expect to be. And your expectations are revealed not through your words, but through your way of being. Your energy is your first language. Before trust is built, before connection is formed, people observe your frequency. They calibrate to your belief. They test the waters of your presence, and they mirror it back. Think of a lion in the wild. It doesn't need to roar at every moment to prove its power. Its stillness speaks. Its calm exudes dominance. Its lack of fear establishes territory. You must carry yourself the same way, not with arrogance, not with noise, but with an unshakable, rooted confidence. A quiet dignity that says, I know who I am, I honor myself, you should too. Ask yourself, what is my energy teaching others about me? What message do I send before I ever open my mouth? Have I been shrinking, dimming, apologizing for my own existence, and calling it humility? Have I mistaken playing small for being kind? Real humility is strength under control. It is power that does not need to flaunt. It is presence that does not need to chase validation. But it is never weakness. It is never self-erasure. It is never the absence of self-respect. Every day you are training others how to treat you. Through your boundaries, through your tone, through how you carry yourself in a room. If you allow disrespect, it continues. If you stay silent when your values are crossed, the silence becomes consent. If you look to others for permission, they will give you limitation. You must embody what you want to attract. You want honor? Walk honorably. You want respect? Speak and move as one who respects themselves. You want strength? Carry strength within first. This is not a game of pretending. It is a journey of aligning. Aligning with the truth of your worth, your dignity, your divine right to take up space. And when you align, you don't need to perform. You simply are. And people feel it. You attract what you embody. And if your inner world is strong, your outer world begins to reflect it. Opportunities change. Relationships evolve. Environments respond. Because the world doesn't lead you, it reflects you. Raise your energy, not through noise, but through depth, not through ego, but through clarity. Let your very presence say, I am here with intention. I am not lesser. I do not shrink. I stand in truth. You do not need to demand, just stand. You do not need to prove, just be, and the world will notice. It always does. Your habits predict your future. Look not at your dreams, but at your daily rituals. Dreams are easy to speak. They sound beautiful. They inspire applause, but they cost nothing. Your real belief is revealed in repetition. What you do every day declares who you are becoming, more than any vision board or spoken goal ever could. You may say you want success, peace, love, or wealth, but your habits will tell the truth. Your routines are the evidence. They are the roots beneath the surface, and just like a tree, what grows tomorrow is already being shaped today. Every great life is built on small disciplines, not grand declarations, not emotional breakthroughs, not spur-of-the-moment inspiration, but quiet, consistent behaviors that compound over time. The invisible choices, the morning routines, the thoughts you rehearse, the boundaries you protect. These form the foundation. You attract what you prepare for, and preparation is never accidental. It is built into how you live. Your habits are either preparing you or preventing you. You say you want wealth? Then examine how you treat the resources you have now. Do you respect your money? Do you save? Do you invest in growth? Or do you squander what you call too little while dreaming of more someday? You say you desire peace? Then examine your relationship with stillness. When anxiety rises, do you sit in silence or do you flee into distraction, into screens, noise, or busy work? Peace is not found in the absence of conflict, but in the practice of presence. You say you want love, then ask how you treat yourself when the room is empty. Do you speak kindly to your reflection? Do you forgive yourself? Do you hold yourself to a standard worthy of someone who is loved? Imagine a gardener. He wishes for oranges, dreams of sweet fruit, tells others of his future orchard, but he waters thorns, neglects the seed, and ignores the soil. His wish is irrelevant. His harvest obeys his habit. That is the reality of life. Your outcomes do not respond to what you want. They respond to what you repeatedly do. Desire is not enough. It must be partnered with discipline. Ask yourself, What patterns am I practicing? Are these rituals preparing me for the future I claim to desire, or are they sabotaging it in slow motion? Examine your mornings, examine your nights. How do you end the day? With gratitude, reflection, preparation, or with numbing, scrolling, and escape? Examine your speech. Do you speak as one who believes in the future you envision? Or do you casually speak defeat, doubt, and delay? Every small choice adds up. Every pattern is a vote for the identity you are building. The question is, are you casting votes for the version of yourself you want to become, or for the version you want to escape? The future is not written by fate. It is carved by repeated action. You do not get what you wish for, you get what you work for. And you work in the quiet routines no one sees. You want a new life, then you must choose new habits. And you must repeat them long enough that your identity catches up, because transformation is not an event, it is a shift, a becoming, one decision at a time. You do not need to change everything overnight, but you do need to start today. Small, specific, aligned. Want to become a writer? Then write daily, even badly. Want to become fit? Then move your body, even when it's inconvenient. Want to become financially free? Then study, budget, plan, even when it feels boring. Over time, the habits harden into identity, and your identity begins to speak louder than your doubts. So do not look too far ahead. Look at today, because today is the seed of all your tomorrows, and what you plant in repetition, you will harvest in reality. The invisible wall of limiting beliefs. You may not see the prison, but you're living in it. It has no bars, no guards, no gates, only thoughts, and yet it is as real as any cell. It keeps you from rising, from risking, from realizing your potential. Every time you say, I'm not good at this, I can't, or people like me don't, you are not just expressing doubt. You are laying down another brick. You are building the very walls that block you from the doors you were born to open. These walls are invisible, but their effects are undeniable. They limit what you try, who you meet, how high you reach. These limiting beliefs are learned. You weren't born thinking small. You were taught. Through experience, through repetition, through the fears of others projected onto your path. A teacher, a parent, a friend, a past failure. These voices echo in your mind, and over time they become your own. But beliefs are not facts. They are permissions. They are agreements you've made with yourself, often unconsciously. And the most dangerous beliefs are not the loud ones. They are the quiet ones. You don't even question. You say, I'm just not a leader. Who told you that? And why did you agree? You say, I could never do that. But have you ever tried with all your might? You say, that kind of life isn't for people like me. But who are you really? And who defined that boundary? Picture an elephant tied by a thin rope. As a baby, the rope held him. He learned that resistance was futile. He accepted his limit. Now grown, he could easily break free, but he doesn't. Why? Because the rope isn't around his leg. It's around his mind. You are that elephant. The rope may be an old story, an outdated label, a childhood memory, a moment of shame. But the truth is, the rope no longer holds you. Only your belief in it does. Ask yourself, what belief have you accepted that is not serving you? What limit have you obeyed without challenging it? What have you labeled impossible without ever testing the truth? This is the beginning of freedom, not by breaking chains, but by recognizing they were never real, by seeing that the doors were open all along. You only needed the courage to walk through them. You only need to question, to examine your thoughts the way you would examine a contract. Who wrote this rule you're living by? And do you still agree? You must dismantle the beliefs that convinced you a lesser life was your ceiling, because nothing outside is stopping you, not the economy, not your past, not your background, only the inner story you keep repeating, and you are allowed to rewrite it. Want a greater life? Then raise the standard of your thoughts. Speak truth to your doubt. Say, I don't know yet, but I'm willing to learn. Say, this is unfamiliar, but I can grow. Say, I've failed before, but I am not a failure. Every time you challenge a lie, you remove a brick. Every time you act in spite of fear, you shake the walls. Every time you step toward growth, you loosen the rope. This is how you change, not by waiting for permission, but by realizing you were never truly bound. You were trained to stay small. But now you know. The prison was never outside of you. It lived in your beliefs, and belief can be rebuilt. So start today. Start with one thought you've always accepted but never questioned. Pull on it, test it, and if it breaks, let it fall. Because your future does not depend on your past. It depends on your permission. And freedom begins the moment you say, I no longer believe that. Your internal language shapes external reality. Words carry power, not just the ones spoken aloud, but especially the ones you whisper to yourself. You are in constant dialogue with your own mind. Morning to night, a stream of thoughts flows quietly beneath your actions. That voice is shaping you. Every decision, every hesitation, every move forward or backward begins with what you tell yourself in the silence. If that inner dialogue is filled with doubt, shame, or defeat, then your results will echo that same script. Tell yourself you're not smart enough, and you will act without confidence. Tell yourself you're unlucky, and your attention will lock onto setbacks instead of solutions. But tell yourself you're capable, not perfect, but capable, and your behavior begins to rise to meet that belief. It's not magic. It's not empty affirmation. It is psychology. Your self-talk sets the thermostat of behavior. The mind is like a room with many doors. Most of them stay closed because your language keeps them locked. But when you change the phrase even slightly, the door cracks open. Say, I can figure this out, and suddenly the mind searches for solutions. Say, I always mess this up, and it seeks evidence to support the defeat. You are not just the listener of your thoughts. You are the author. And every word you choose programs your emotional environment. It creates your lens, and through that lens, you interpret the world. Consider a captain steering a ship. The rudder is small compared to the vessel, but it determines the direction. Your words are that rudder. Quiet, subtle, but deeply influential. A shift in language creates a shift in path. When your language is full of fear, your vision narrows. You focus on what could go wrong. You hesitate. You shrink. But when your language is infused with belief, your vision expands. You begin to see paths you ignored. You entertain the idea that progress is possible. And that belief becomes fuel. What phrases have you rehearsed so often they now run on autopilot? Think about it. The things you say without thinking are the ones that shape you most. Are they empowering you or excusing you? Are they giving you reasons to rise or rationalizations to retreat? You might not realize it, but the words you repeat are scripts. Scripts you act out day after day. I can never focus. I always mess this up. I don't belong in rooms like that. These aren't harmless statements. They are instructions. You give them to your mind, and your mind, ever obedient, follows them. But just as you've learned to speak defeat, you can also learn to speak power. You don't need louder motivation. You need cleaner language. Language that reflects truth, not fear. Words that clarify, not confuse. And once your mind starts to believe in a new narrative, your body will follow. Your behavior will adapt. Your habits will shift. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about telling yourself a better truth. The kind that gives you energy instead of draining it. The kind that aligns with the future you want to build, not the past you want to escape. Begin here. Pay attention. Catch the words you say in frustration, in fatigue, in fear. Then pause. Replace them, not with perfect affirmations, but with honest possibility. I don't know how yet. This is tough, but I've faced worse. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not stuck. Language is the lever. Use it to lift your life. Change your internal